And this is the problem. I can't use my Prophet X because when I turn it on and wait for it to boot up, it just hangs at the top of the bar here. Doesn't go any further. So I'm stuck with a $4,000 brick. But there is a fix, okay? Actually, there are several types of fixes you can try out. And the first one we're going to use is this, a standard USB computer keyboard. Just plug it into your sample import USB at the back of your Prophet X and fire up that Prophet X again. And you're going to use the F1 key on that keyboard when you're reaching the end of the boot up process. So pay attention to that bar there, coming towards the very end. Press the F1 key repeatedly and hopefully it will boot up. If not, do the whole process once again. What you're actually doing here is bypassing your BIOS setup or resetting your BIOS, because the Prophet X is just a computer like any other computer. And doing that F1 or delete or F10 on a standard PC computer, entering your BIOS, it's the same thing you're doing here. So when I'm recycling this Prophet X once more after doing this, it should boot up, whether or not I press the F1 again. So let's check it out. And it booted right up. However, if I now turn this off and on again, it will hang once more. So I have to do some more changes here, change out the CMOS battery, among other things. So I'm just going to remove some screws on the sides and below the pitch bend and mod wheel, and we're inside. On the left, we can see the board with the SSM clone analog filter chips, as you can see here. And much worse, if I can put it like that, is seeing this small form factor ITX standard PC motherboard with its PS2 mouse and keyboard inputs and all the other inputs and output ports of a standard PC motherboard, which is running Linux, by the way. Not uncommon these days for flagship synths to run Linux. A very cheap small form factor PC motherboard inside your $4,000 brick. Here's the CMOS battery, which is completely dead, I assume. Let's measure it for good measure. Not much juice left in that one, so we'll just throw that in the bin and put in a new one. This is, of course, a standard CR2032 coin battery. So let's put that in there. So that should take care of that BIOS problem. But if you're used to having your Prophet X on the road and messing about, it's a good idea to reseat all the connectors, etc., just to be sure. And the third and final and probably most concerning issue is that power supply of the Prophet X. And this is it, a very cheap Mean Well switched power supply, costing blood if you got it from Sequential or getting it from Sequential. If they have someone left, they're out of stock as far as I know. And these power supplies, they've been known to go bad very quickly and often. And the problem is that the 5-volt rail drifts below 5 volt. So by adjusting this screw here, you can adjust this back to a little over 5 volts to try that if your Prophet X is dead. So what I did here is I adjusted this screw until the 5-volt rail read 5.2 on my meter. You shouldn't really meter these switched supply with no load, but if you do it quick and fast, you should be okay. So with the CMOS battery switched out, my adjustment of the power supply and reseating all the connectors, it's time to fire up that Prophet X again and see if it now works. And it hangs once more, but this is normal because I have to do that F1 trick with the computer keyboard one more time after switching out that CMOS battery. And once that was done, switching on again, it now boots up without any problems. I think the first revisions of the Prophet X has a bug that eats CMOS batteries, so be prepared to change them often if you have one of the first revisions. As Sequential has now totally abandoned the Prophet X in terms of support and updates, I hope you found this video interesting and useful should you run into problems with your own Prophet X. I'm Espen Kraft, thanks for watching.